Right, I'm just going to say the date today. It's the 26th of the 4th, 2020. Today we're going to go over a few more words and garner some more understandings. Some more overstandings and some more understandings. G'day Rangi Tanawa Black, thanks for joining us. So it's 3:32 on 26th of the 4th, 2020. Coming to you from Nelson, New Zealand, top of the South Island. G'day Shaz, thanks for joining us. Going to give you all a little bit more food for thought today. I'm not sure where all you guys are, but it's lovely here today. I've already been out in the park with the dog for a walk. Beautiful. So yeah, etymology. It's a study of words, their origins, and how their form and meaning have changed over time. Okay, so we're going to go through a few more words again, find out the origins of a few of these words, and maybe garner a higher understanding of things, a higher overstanding. And you might think, oh yeah, well that's nice, Norm. That's nice, Norm. I'm trying to hold that still. You'll say, oh, that's nice, Norm. So from the late 13th century, the word nice, it's an adjective. It means foolish, ignorant, frivolous, and senseless. Careless, clumsy, weak, poor, needy, simple, stupid, silly, foolish. It's from Latin, nescius, meaning ignorant, unaware, literally not knowing. So there. So when people say, oh, you look nice today, or the Queen gets up there and she says, oh, the commoners look so nice today, she's telling you all look stupid, folks. That's what she's doing. Right in front of your face. That's where the word comes from. It means stupid, folks. It comes from, its evolutions from lewd and silly. And we all go around being nice to each other, don't we? Oh, that's nice. G'day, Carl. Thanks for joining us. Hey, James, how are you? I hope you guys are all doing good in your hoods, because we've been hoodwinked. So we're going to go into a few more words today. Look at the etymology of some things. Etymology, again, study of words, their origins, and how their form and meaning have changed over time. And unfortunately, we're being bamboozled, folks. We're being bamboozled by words, because we're getting back to the board again. Here's my smorgasbord. Back to the smorgasbord, folks. Again, you take from the table, from the food of thought, what you want, and you can discard what doesn't fit into your particular frame of thinking. So it's casting spells. It's all about spellings. If you haven't seen the evolution of the board here, then you can go back and check some of my other videos out. Actually, I'll do a wee pluggy. I'll do a wee plug. Here's my video page here. You've got to look for that one there, not the norm. I've got a few vids up there at the moment. Be good to see a few more people on there just liking and sharing. Give us a like. I think that's how it works. Run another page, another couple of pages I'll run here. I'll get rid of that one there. That one there is the Common Law Association New Zealand, otherwise known as clans. Come and join us on there. Share a lot of information about the law, the duplicity of language. Lots of good information there for you all. Here's my normal page. Norm Collins, search for that. Oh, you put that one up there. Debt Tsunami. This is what's coming next, that one right there. We didn't even start to feel that one yet. But anyway. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's another definition for you. Human. You'll think you're human. It's not actually. In fact, it's the hue of man is human. The definition of human is of, relating to, or characteristic of humans. Consisting of humans. Having human form or attributes. It's a characteristic, folks. See that? That's what that is. It's a characteristic. So we're going to go into a bit of gnosis as well. Let's find out what a bit of gnosis means. G'day Jeff, thanks for joining us. So gnosis is the esoteric knowledge of spiritual truth held by the ancient Gnostics to be essential to salvation. Ah, obviously pretty serious about that gnosis stuff, eh? Because in fact it gets you from this world here over into that world there. And from that world there into that world over there. And over there you're going to be in trouble, folks. So I'm going to bring you a little bit of knowledge, because knowledge is power. And that empowers us. And then we can charge forward. Remember knowledge, knoll, the wee knoll. Knoll's a wee hill. If you're on the edge, you can see far. You can see the sea far. Because we're seafarers. G'day Michelle, how are you? Thanks for joining us. So we're going to try and get out a bit of that. And get into a bit more of that. Because knowledge is power, folks. And unfortunately, through all the spellings and the words, and the double speak, the phonics, the phony language, the phonics of it all, it's all phony, folks. They tell you. They must tell you what they're doing to you. I'll show you how that works again. A Latin term called caveat emptor. It means, in a nice way, buyer beware. Not such a nice way, folks. Let's let those that be deceived, okay? And unfortunately, as I've said before, we're jumping from this world over here into the living, with all our rights, inherent and unalienable, unless we consent and get over into all these rules and regulations, which are full of acts and statutes and authority figures, admiralty, commercial, banking, law. It's lies. It's the ability to lie over here. It's deceit. It's deceptful. It's deceptful by its nature. Okay? So I had human being there. Here's Black's Law's definition of human being. Human being, defines human being as a prodigious birth, a human birth or offspring not having the shape of mankind, which cannot be heir to any land, albeit brought forth in marriage. Go back to 1930 and read Ballantyne's Law Dictionary, and it says quite clearly, it refers you to see the word monster. Okay, so that means go and have a look at the word monster. Okay? And the definition of monster, again, is one that cannot own or inherit property, essentially making you a slave. Okay, so, like I showed you here before, human, it's a characteristic of man. It's not you. Okay, it's your characteristic. It comes down, it's like this. It's your persona. Okay, it's your persona. It's not you. You can go to the Sunday market here or Sydney market and get someone to draw your caricature. See the word actor in there? Nature, the character, the nature of your character, the caricature. You know, it's not you. They'll draw a funny looking head with a couple of ears and one mouth. It's meaning, you know, listen twice and speak once. Because everything is being told to you in front of your faces. Okay? Everything's in front of your faces. They've got to tell you. They've got to tell you what you're doing. They've got to tell you what they're doing, folks. And that's what they're doing. They're telling you exactly what's going on but they're using it in this language that we think is English, and it's doublespeak. It's doublespeak, and it's getting us into all sorts of trouble. I'll show you how that works. What's doublespeak? I've got it here somewhere, I think. There it is. See, doublespeak, folks. George Orwell was a master of doublespeak in his times. So doublespeak is a language that deliberately obscures, disguises, distorts, or reverses the meaning of words. Doublespeak may take the form of euphemisms, in which case it is primarily meant to make the truth sound more palatable. See, food for thought. It may also refer to intentional ambiguity in language, or to actual inversions of meaning. Okay? So it's doublespeak. And over here, like I've said to you before, in this book here, when you've been booked, they bind you, and they charge you, don't they? They charge you, they give you a ticket, and you think it's fine. You see that? But in that book over there, that book there is legalese, folks. It's legalese. Now legalese, if you go and look it up in a dictionary, will tell you that it's lawful jargon or legal jargon. And then you go and look up the word jargon, and it will tell you that it is an unintelligible language. And this is where colour of the law comes from. G'day Larry, thanks for joining us. This is where colour of the law comes from, folks. It's the hue of man. It's the hue of man. It's the colour. Okay? I think I had that there somewhere actually. Did we cover that? Oh yeah, I did. The hue of man. It's the hue of man. It's not you. It's the colour of man, the colour of law. The hue. Oh, it's not very well. We actually made it. That pen was dying yesterday too, actually. H-U-E. The hue of man, folks. It's not you. It's a caricature. It's a persona. And if you go and look up the word person in a legal dictionary, I'm changing pens, it will tell you that it's a corporation. Okay? Person is a corporation, among other meanings, but again, this is the duplicity of the language. So you might think, oh yeah, I'm a person, I'm a nice person, but in fact, what you've just done is contracted yourself into being a corporation. And corpse, or corpse is dead things, and oration is to speak. So it's the dead speaking. Because it's not you, folks. It's not you, okay? So you've got to get a handle on this and get grounded. That's what we're doing. Getting a handle on things and getting grounded. And then we're on the land, aren't we? When we're on the land, we're standing, and we can affirm things, because it's firm. It's the affirmament, isn't it? We affirm things. It's solid. Sorry, I'm going to have to redo my boards, actually. Land is solid. You have solid grounding. And I can't remember what that one was. Okay. So we want to get back on the land, because we have solid standing there. Over here, it's the law of the sea. I've showed you that before, about how money is it's one eye. It's liquidity. Okay, there are lots of terms in our language that describe money. You know, you can have asset liquidation, financial tsunamis, which is what we're about to see at the moment, well, in the coming months. The ripple effect is going to be incredible. Again, ripple effect. Financial bailout. That's what's happening at the moment. All the big companies around New Zealand are getting all the money. 50 million just went to the friggin' media outlets. The same ones that are programming you. Because it's programs, folks. It's programs on a monitor. You see that? It's a monitor. They monitor you and they program you. They've got to tell you what they're doing. And that's what they're doing. They're just telling you straight in front of your faces exactly what they're doing to you. Okay? They're casting spells on you, and we've got to start dispelling a few things, folks, because then we can dispel them, can't we? Once they're dispelled, they're dispelled. You see how that works? We do that by questioning. Hey, the quest ion. See how it's in the words, the spelling's in there? And then you can be as king. Hey, then you're as king. And your quest you're on, which is to raise your level of understandings and foresight and 5-sight and 6-sight, insight and outsight. So we're being bamboozled by the bullshit, through the doublespeak, through the legalese, which is like Chinese and Japanese. It looks like English, sounds like English, but it's not English, folks, okay? It's not English. And that's where we're getting into trouble, and we're drowning over here because it's unfathomable, because it's in the sea. And we haven't got our sea legs, so we've got no legacy. Do you see? It all makes sense over here. Is it starting to make sense over here? Hopefully. Hopefully. You're starting to realise. Hey, you're starting to realise the real lies and garner some real eyes. Because then you have sight, don't you? You have sight. And then when you have sight, you sit and you pause, and it gives you time to think. Yeah, that works. That's putting thought, and then you might want to write things down. So you'll put thought into ink, and then you'll think. But just be careful that you don't sink with those words that you put on the paper, which is stationary. It's called stationary because it doesn't move. It has no momentum. It's stationary. It's in a pause. It's sitting. It has sight. It's silent. So you can listen. Silence is to listen. Remember that? Covered that. Listen. And silent. Words are there. These are spells. These are codes. These are letters. These are ciphers. It's code, folks. It's all code. And once you can start to figure out the different keys of the code or the cipher, then you can start being in accord with things, eh? And in a tune. Attunement and a tone. And get back to the core of us, which is the chorus. And that sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds good. We like things that sound good, because then we can hear. And then we're here with our 2 ears and our 1 mouth, listening twice and speaking once. And that'll give us what's called respect, won't it? Spectacles, perspect, a person's the way they view things. And again, is to do again. Spectacles, perspective, you know, it's a person's view of things. So now, hopefully, you're starting to realise that there's 2 personas that have been created. There's the living you, alive in this world, flesh and blood, breathing, and there's the world of the dead, the entity that's been created, the human being. Okay? Oh yeah, note there too. Hue is a colour, put in your hair. Talk about colour of law. So we want to be man. Because this dude here, and there, that dude there, that word there that upsets a lot of people, he made man. He made man, mate. That meant the family of man. The kin, the kind, mankind. That's how that works, mankind. And that means the womb of man as well, meaning woman. How am I done there? Done something wrong there. Woman is the womb of man, folks. We've got to get back to that matriarchy, or at least give it a look in, instead of calling them all miss. Again, another use of the words denigrates and lowers the vibration. Oh, what am I doing? You see how that works? And they call you miss. Oh, they miss you right out, don't they? Oh, you'll miss. So we want to get back to this, folks. We want to get back to mankind and kindle. And kin. Kin is family. Kin in Japanese is gold. Isn't that interesting? Hey, you. They say you. See how that works? Isn't that beautiful? See, it's all in the language. It's all in the language and the letters and the spellings. And once you start to understand and overstand and understand what's going on here, you can start to garner more deep understandings of what is going on. It really does enlighten you. It's a lesson. They call this a lesson, but it puts less on. Did I do that? I did. I covered that up here. Lesson. Why is it a lesson, Norm? Because I'm putting less on you. Oh, how are you putting less on me? You're trying to teach us a whole heap of crap. Look, I'm putting less on you because it enlightens you. And you get knowledge. And all of a sudden, your level on the rung of the ladder is a little bit higher. So you can see a little bit further. Or farther. Isn't that lovely? You can see farther. So it enlightens you. It enlightens you. And that gives you power. And that gives you a power to respond, the ability to respond, because you're in tune. You're attuned, you're at the chorus, you're at the chord, you're in a chord, you know, breaking records, because you want to record, don't we? We're getting lost in the ciphers though, the loo ciphers, the lull, the little lullaby. The lullaby, folks, the lullaby of the Lucifer, the cipher. They tell you right there. See that? It's right in that word. They've got to tell you what they're doing. And they do. They're telling you in front of your faces. They like to take a record of you too, don't they? They like to record everything about you with that birth certificate. They've certified you. They've got you back at sea, folks. They've got you back at sea. Back in the current sea. Do you see how that works? The current, because you're in a chord. Power travels through a chord, doesn't it? Chord, and if you touch that chord, man, it hurts, because it's power. You see how that works? Enlightenment. See, when you have a new thought, or you know, a light goes on, doesn't it? It's been done. A node, a brain, a synapses, bang, boom. It'll click. That's why truth. That's why truth rings true. It rings true because it's a sound that resonates. And there's lots of stuff here that might not resonate, and that's okay. You take what you can from the smorgasbord of thought. See, ring. Because truth has power, which is knowledge, and the now gives you the ability to say no. We need to start saying no, folks, because we're being stripped of our human rights, our inalienable rights. They're becoming alienated from us, and this is how they're doing it. This is how they're doing it. They're spelling us. They've got us all spellbound. You need to turn those TV sets off and start getting on the internet and sharing my my videos. But anyway, but this is what's going on, people. You know, when you get back to the land, the earth. Hey, we can be the earth. That's birth, folks. That's where we're at, isn't it? Earth, the heart of things. The heart of her, to get her. Why is it to get her? Why is it to get her, folks? Here, you'll love this. To get her. Again, back to the matriarch, fellas. People, my little starlights out there. To get her. Why is it to get her, Norm? Because we want to get back on the land. Who's her? Papatuanuku. Papatuanuku, fellas. It's the land again. Because over here, over in the land, we have standing. We can affirm things. It's the firmament. Is that the firmament? It's common law, local law. Yeah, I've said that before. This I'm going to have to tidy my board up, actually, because it's no excuse ignorance. So that's why I've said to you before, you know, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Why do they say that? Why do they say that ignorance of the law is no excuse? It's not because of this law, because you'll never understand that. You'll never be able to. It's legalese, like I've said. It's doublespeak. It's colour. It's colour of law. It's not the real law. That's the real law. I'm not a religious man, but this is the real law. This is the foundational rules to live by, to keep us in the land of the living so we don't give up any of these things here. Any of our standing, any of our rights, any of our ability to communicate and travel. Not travel? Yes, to travel across the land. And it's Article 18, I think. I think it's 18 of the human rights. We have the freedom right to movement, folks. Freedom right to movement. Start exercising it. Because we're getting contracted. We're getting contracted from this world over into this world by the paperwork, which is the stationery, that when you put your ink on, when you think you put your ink in, you're going to sink. Because you don't understand the duplicity of the language and what you're putting your mark to. Because it's right. See, it's right. They're your rights. And when you write, you write. Oh, wait a minute, I'll get back to get her. Right, it's your right, folks. Your rights. You give up those, you let those go, you know, that's it. She's game over. Pretty much game over. You know, and we're being stripped of them through this bloody spelling, this casting spells, the magic, the magi. You know, the magi, he sits up there on the bench, doesn't he? Hey, he sits up there on the bench. Again, folks, bench is a Latin word. It means bank. That's what a bench is. A bench is a bank, folks. He's the magistrate. He's the magician, and it's straight out magic what they're doing up there. He's telling you. He's telling you who he represents. He represents the bank. Okay? It's all again about that liquidity. Is your cup half full or half empty? Well, you're becoming insolvent, folks, because your cup's holy. Because it's the grail. It's got your blood in it. You see how that works? That's what's in there. That's the value. That's the value, the cost and the worth. Okay, Lawrence, thanks for joining us. That's the value and the cost and the worth is your liquidity, your blood. It's the vessel, remember? I'm telling you, it's a vessel. You better get a handle on it and start standing on the land. That's the truth of the matter, because it rings true, folks. I'm going to go back to get her. To get her, Papatuanuku, back on the land. Just makes sense, doesn't it? Just makes sense, makes good sense. It's good value. It's definitely worth it. It costs you nothing. That's the beauty of it. Hey, because you've got to assure me. These are measures, folks. You see that? You've got to assure me. You've got to assure me unequivocally. These things will all be different for all of you. These things here. You know, I've got my granddad's ring, and the value of that to me is invaluable. What's it worth? Oh, probably a couple of grand in gold and the onyx that's in it. What did it cost? Well, it cost me nothing. It was given to me. What's the value of it? Mate, it's invaluable. You see how that works? So there's my measure. That assures me. You know, because I respect the ancestors and those ones that gave us everything we have today, pretty much. The freedoms that we enjoy anyway. But they're being stripped away, and they're being stripped away by this stuff here. All the spellings have turned you into beggars, folks, because you're begging for rights that you already have. The rights you already have. You see how that it works? Nodes are one, neo, all one, alone, all one. Your knowledge, putting less on. Then you can intuit. There's another sense, isn't it? You get tuition, don't you? You can intuit things. And how do you intuit things, folks? It's through the vibration of truth, isn't it? That's how you intuit things. That's how we intuit things. Because remember how it works? I'll show you again just how that works. Have I got the right one? I think I have. I'll show you again just how that works. This one here, is it? Okay, that's how that works. speaks frequency. It's funny, in that book, hey, in the beginning was the word. Oh, it's a sound. What are words? Words are sounds, vibrations, written with characters in the form of letters, and that's called spelling. And we read them to gain understanding, and they have more power than you may realise. And George Bernard Shaw said, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion it has taken place. And that is because of the doublespeak and the duplicit meanings. The duplicit meanings, folks, that are being cast out to you on the sound waves. And you're picking them up and interpreting them, and yet we've got no idea what's going on. And this is why we can't understand. You know, why doesn't the government do good stuff? Why doesn't the government do good stuff, folks? You know, they're never going to. They're never going to, because you've consented to the rules and regulations by application. Application in legal definition means to beg, folks. So you've gone out there, filled in applications to beg for rights you already have. And that's how they roll. That's how they roll. They've got you from over in here with your consent, because you haven't tested anything. You got no testicles. You haven't tested anything, and now you're drowning. And this is what's happening. You know, all these issues, the different ways the government is trying to, you know, harm us and stop us from expanding. We're in the stage of consciousness is becoming manifest, folks. You're going to have to start cleaning your minds out, because it's getting closer to the time that your thought is going to manifest quicker. Your thoughts are going to manifest quicker. That's what they say about time speeding up. It's not time speeding up at all, folks. What's happening is your ability to be able to manifest thought into reality, is the distance between that is shortening. Okay? So you need to start thinking about what it is you're thinking about. Seriously. We need to start thinking about what it is we're thinking about. Because remember, where thought goes, energy flows. And if you don't mind, it won't matter, because you haven't mind. You see that? You see how that works? You need to take control of this, folks, because it's becoming, you're starting to manifest things quicker. This is what's going on. They talk about the quickening in 2012, and, you know, the spheres are all moving, the cycles of times, the cycles of timey, the cycles of circle, it's a spiral. We want to aspire, don't we? We all want to aspire to things, don't we? The spire, the pyre, the pyramid, being in the middle of the fire. That's what it is. And when we look down on it, when we look down on that, that's what we see. Do you see? Oh, it's an eddy, isn't it? Is that a whirlpool? We're back in the water again, the waves. And each time we evolve, folks, you know, each time these are rungs of the ladder. You might get back to the place you thought you were before, but you'll be a little bit more knowledgeable. You might feel like you're going round in circles again and get back to the place where you... But no, you'll be a rung higher. You'll have aspired a little bit more. You see how that works? So it may feel like time repeats, and it does in a way. History does repeat, because these back cycles are where we, and these other cycles, these are where we look back down upon where we were before, and we can see from a higher and a broader perspective. Hey, that's how that works, folks. It's magic. It's magic how that works. It's beautiful. I'm going to have a wee drink. Hope you're all doing all right there. I hope you're not getting too bored. Actually, I've got to keep an eye on the time, because I've just started up an Instagram page as well, and I've got to try and keep them under 60 minutes, so that's probably a bit too long for most people anyway. But anyway, that's what's happening. Who we got there? Lawrence still there. Shaz, how you doing? Give us a call later on, Shaz. Let's have a yak. David, how are you, mate? Got down to the park earlier. G'day, B. Gosh, B, I don't know whether you'll be able to understand half this stuff, mate. It's past most native English speakers' level of understanding, really, but never mind. We get where we can. We do what we can with what we got, folks. Again, you've all got these devices in your hands. Get out there. Start being the media, the media. You know, but you got to weigh up these things for yourself as well. The cost, the value, and the worth. Is it worth it to you? What's it going to cost you? And what's the value of it? Okay. Righto. So I want to cover a couple of other things here. So we're going to get back to that stage there. Sovereigns means not a slave. Self-control, self-mastery, and self-ownership. Remember, own your ship. Own your ship, not the copyright. Not the copyright ownership. Got to get off that one because you'll always get caught. And when you're in court, as I say, they will charge you. They'll give you a ticket, and it's not so fine. See, tickets are passengers. They give tickets to passengers, folks, who are on vessels, operating in commerce. See what they do there? See, when a police officer pulls you over and says, oh, you're driving at 60k in a 50k zone, you say, oh, no, I do believe I'm travelling, officer. And if you've got people in the car, they're not your passengers, folks, because passengers pay for tickets. Again, you're entering by contract into commerce. You say, oh, no, they're my guests, and we're travelling, exercising our freedom of right to movement under Article 18 of the Human Rights Declaration. 1947, I do believe, and the Bill of Rights. It's all there. They can't take them away from you unless you keep consenting. And you've got to start testing this con. Because the con is on the table, folks. And see how that works? The cons, they got the table rigged. The table's rigged. Mate. The cards are stacked. The dice are dodgy. You're not going to win in that world there. You're never going to win. You're only going to drown because it's unfathomable, because it's the law of the sea. It's measured in fathoms. You know, they've been dumbing us down for a long time, folks, the lies. The level of lies that we've been told is unbelievable. You know, even this stuff here. Natural stuff may be good for you. I don't know. Processed stuff, dangerous as. You know, vaccines. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It really is scary. See, you know, these guys are 30, 40 years ago saying this stuff. There is no evidence that any influenza vaccine thus far developed is effective in preventing or mitigating any attack of influenza. The producers of these vaccines know that. They are worthless, but they go on selling them anyway. Dr. J. Anthony Morris, former Chief Vaccine Control Officer and Research Virologist in the US Federal Drug Association. I don't know. You know, I'm no expert, but these guys are. This guy here, Dr. Dean Burke, PhD, 34 years in the National Cancer Institute. In point of fact, fluoride causes more human cancer death and causes it faster than any other chemical. Now, that guy's got to know what he's talking about, doesn't he? I mean, the shit they put in that, whoa. And it is. Cravings, cavities, obesity, diabetes, allergies. That stuff there, mate, dangerous. It's part of me. You know why they call it as part of me? See that? As part of me. They call it that because it affects you at a genetic level. At your cellular level. At your cellular level. Because they've sold you. They've sold you. With your cellular phone. They're selling you out, folks. Well, actually, you're selling your cells out. Because the cell's a battery. Isn't it? And this is assault and battery. Isn't it? This is all assault and battery. And that's why. It's all current, because it's all about the sea, your liquidity, your little vessels, your little cups that they're bleeding. You don't want to be vain about it, do you? Maybe you should get your voices at their peak and speak, because we've been told we're allowed. Is that allowed or allowed? You see how that works? Because they sell you, and you sold. You love a good sail, don't you? Back on the sea with your vessels. You love a good sail. Because it's special, isn't it? It's on special. Do you know what's on special? You. You're the special thing. That's what's going on, folks. That's what's going on. So it's a very clever game of sleight of hand. And that's what the Magi does. That's what the Magi's do, don't they? From the place called Medea. Media was a place where all the magicians and soothsayers and oracles were. The kings used to send their riders out there to say, oh, should I invade this country next year? Or should I grow corn? Or should I, whatever, sail across the seas? And the oracles would give them the information. Because then they would be in formation. Oh, I must have rubbed that bit out. When you've got information, you can be information, don't you? Oh, that's a dead pen. Where's the other one? We all need information to be information. And then we're united. And we're in formation. See, that what happens when you go and apply, because apply is to beg, remember? Remember, apply means to beg. So they make you all into beggars. And they you. The action is to beg, but the human doing it is an You see how that works? See how that works? They tell you, they've got to tell you what they're doing. They're telling you what they're doing. So and they get you to apply, which equals beg, to fill out the form. They get you in form. They get you in their form, don't they? In their national form. Because you're on it. That's the contract there. Eye on. You're on it. Oh, there it is right there. I was right above. And that's a tax. A tax and a tax and a tax, and that's what they do. So you've got to be vigilant and ask why. Okay? So because they call us, cycles of time going round and round. So revolutions round, evolve. They call us revolting. Don't they? They call us revolting. That's what they do. They call us revolting. Because we've got no idea what's going on. We are the revolting. We are the ignorant. We are the infidels. The children, the childs, they've been chilled, the infants, infantized, adulterated. See all these words they use to describe us, to describe. There you go. It's back in the script again. Scribes, folks. The old scribes, the scribs. Descript you. They descript you. They undo you. These are all scribes. The scribs wrote all this stuff, didn't they? The phonics, the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians of the sea. Where were we? Oh, I must have rubbed that out. The Phoenicians were the seafaring race that gave our phonics and our phones, which are phony, our iPhone and our cell phone and our iPod and your book face or my face or whatever it is. That's what's going on. That's what's going on, folks. When you get back to the earth, back on the land, get out of this stuff here. Get out of that that human dye. You'll die as a hue of man. You'll have no purse on you. You get that? You've got no value. See the purse on you? Have you got any purse on you? No. You've got no value or worth. And it's costing you everything. Because you're running around in these false personas. And the false persona is all the legalese, the doublespeak, the duplicit language that's going on. It's getting you all over into here, into confusion, because they fuse the cons. That's what they do, their structures, with their piracy. It's cons piracy, folks, they got to tell you. It's the great cons piracy. Okay, these guys are pirates. That's what law of the sea is, rape, pillage and plunder. And that's what's going on. You see how that works? That's how that works, folks. That's how that works. So we've got to get back on the land and start stamping our feet firmly and drawing our lines on that land. Because they're getting blurry. And I don't like it. A lot of other people don't like it either. Well, in fact, it's actually impossible for them to stop what's going on. Because consciousness is manifesting, folks, and it's yours. It's yours to manifest. Well, you got to be the captains of your ship. It's your profile. They got your profile. Here's your temples. Remember that? Your temples up there. There's your temple. So you don't have to, you don't have to fully believe in that stuff, or whether it's Krishna or Buddha or Mahabharati, whatever. It doesn't matter, folks. It's you. It's about you becoming the master and starting to see because your ship's listing. Okay? We're in stormy waters. You need to be the master of your ships. Because, you know, they've got everything against us, folks. You know, they've been trying to hold us down for a long time. But it's our time now, folks. It's your time. It's all about you. You are the vessels. You are the vessels, folks. Actually, just on this point here with the chemtrails, the last 2 days, or a couple of days, they've been chemtrailing here in Nelson. Now, they haven't done any chemtrailing over the 2 weeks we've been locked down. So now that they're just allowed to let us out, they start hammering us again. You know, they've been doing it for a while, folks. They've been doing it for a wee while. Even this guy here, eh? ADHD. ADHD is a fictitious disease. US American psychiatrist Leon Eisenberg, born in 1922 as the son of Russian Jewish immigrants, who was the scientific father of ADHD, said at the age 87 in his last interview, ADHD is a prime example of a fictitious disease. I mean, you've been told, folks. You've been told for so long what's going on in front of your faces, and we've allowed it. We've allowed it. Right down to the light bulbs that they give you. And right down to the ink that's on the receipts that you get across the counter. There's even carcinogens in that for you. Just so they create another few customers, you know. Just to try and overload our systems. But guess what, folks? We're still here. Hey. We're still here, folks. And we ain't going away in a hurry. We're not going away in a hurry, folks. And get this industry going too. More stuff they're just holding back on us. You know? Portugal legalised most drugs in 2001. They've had lower incidents of uptake, lower incidence of violence, abuse. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, folks. So it's all about that. Frequency, pitch, volume. Start speaking up. Start raising your voices, folks. Because the time is now. Oh yeah, you're interested in getting back to your jobs? I'll leave you that one. The word job is a Hebrew word. It translates to mean persecuted. But then the legal definition is official public business for private dishonest gain. And the word employment is actually made from 3 words. M being, which translates to the word for. Ploy means deceit. And so employment is, and ment means mind. The last part of that word there. So it means deceit. Deceit of the mind, folks. And you earn, don't you? That's the dead. You put your dead in an urn. And dollars. Go look up the Latin word dollars. It means pain, folks. It means pain. So, half the battle of overcoming any of our flaws of character or our disease or our addictions or our whatever it is to overcome, it's all about us. Okay, it comes back to you. You have control over that, nobody else. Okay, so you got to take control of your own vessels. Start powering yourselves up through knowledge. Start uniting, informing yourselves, having common understandings and in unity, and then we'll have community. Once we have community, folks, we're unbeatable. Once we have that common unity going, we're unbeatable. And that's how we do it. That's how we do it, folks. Get out of that world, get back into that simple world. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, because it's easy. Don't kill, don't steal, don't harm. Keep the peace. Be honourable. Be full of honour. Be full of honour, folks. Again, there's human definition. It's again, you know, you can find normal English dictionaries and you can find law dictionaries, and they'll tell you 2 different things. You know. Again, so we've gone over a little bit of gnosis as well. 4 years old. What else did I have there? Gnosis, no. So yeah, go and check out my YouTube channel. Give me videos a like. Share them around. I've got an Instagram as well. My Instagram is that one there. Norm, not the norm. Norm NTN. So if you're on Instagram, give us a shout out or give us a holler. What's I got there for you? Nothing else there for you. Righto. There it is. Demand evidence. Think critically, folks. Thanks for tuning in, all you lovely spirits out there. Hope you have a beautiful day. Go out there and shine light in all the corners of darkness. That's what we do. That's what we do. Love yous all. Love and light. Thanks for joining us. See you again. I'm probably going to do lives every couple of days, actually. I kind of got other things around the house, doing a bit of gardening and whatnot, but tidying up, isn't, you know how it goes. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. Love and light.